Hey guys, so today I'm going to do a what's on my bookshelf vid. This is going to give you guys a little bit of an idea of the kind of books that I read, the genres that I'm into, and if you have any questions about any books, you can ask them in the comments below. I'm also going to be telling you my favorite book from each genre and the books that I plan on reading in the near future. So let's turn to my bookshelf. Excuse the current mess. It's kind of a breeding ground right now for a little bit of everything. So we're going to start down at the bottom. On this shelf, this is where I have all my series. So we've got Harry Potter, we've got Little House on the Prairie, Hunger Games, Percy Jackson, Twilight, and then Nancy Drew from when I was younger. So I haven't finished the whole Harry Potter series. I know that's pretty sad. So I don't really have a favorite book. Same with I haven't finished the Little House on the Prairie series because I've kind of grown out of that right now. But if I had to pick a favorite book from the Hunger Games series, it would probably be Mockingjay. And that would also be my favorite movie. Sea of Monsters is probably my favorite Percy Jackson book. And out of the Twilight books, I'd have to say I liked probably New Moon the best. Now, if we go up to this shelf, this is where it kind of gets like mixed around a little bit because I just have so many different varieties of books. So some of these are mainly Stephen King. I haven't started reading it yet, but I plan on it. It's just such a big book. It takes so long to read, so in the summer I'm going to try to. I started reading Finders Keepers, but I haven't gotten very far. I'm really, really into Stephen King. What else do I have by him? Oh, I also have Nightmares and Dreamscapes, Bag of Bones, Carrie, and End of Watch, which I've actually almost finished. Also, another series that I have is the Ali Condi series that I read when I was younger. It consists of 3 books, Matched, Crossed, and Reached, and basically they're living in a dystopian society, kind of like Divergent, if you've ever seen Divergent. And basically they're matched up with a partner. I'll actually read you the description on the back of Matched. So it says, hang on, it's on the inside. I don't know where the heck this description is. What in the... Oh. Cassia has always trusted the society's choices, and when her best friend appears on the matching screen, Cassia is certain he is the one, until she sees another face flash for an instant before the screen fades to black. Now she is faced with the impossible choices between Xander and Kai, between the only life she's known and a path no one dares to follow, between perfection and passion. Society matched them, but love set them free. In this society, officials decide who you love, where you work, and when you die. So it's basically a synopsis of what that series is going to be like. Another great book that I've actually read multiple times is The Handmaid's Tale. Basically this book is about these handmaids who work for these really, really rich men, and they have basically no rights. All they're basically there to do is produce their master's children. Right? And so this is a book by Margaret Atwood. The TV series actually just came out recently. So I'd really suggest reading this. It's a really good book. It is kind of graphic at some parts, especially because when they're describing like deaths, like the hangings and stuff, it could get a little violent. So if you're not too sure about that, maybe stay away from it for now. But if you're eager to try it out, I'd definitely give it a shot because it's a very, very good book. 2 other amazing books that I've read that fall under the same series, or same genre, are Sarah's Key and The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Now these are both books about World War II, about the Nazi regime and the Nazis taking over. Sarah's Key is about a little girl, obviously named Sarah, who gets separated from her parents, and before she leaves, she locks her little brother in a chest and says that she'll come back for him. And so basically she has to fight through concentration camps and just try to survive to get back for her little brother. So it is an amazing book. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas is very similar. Let's see if I can have a better description. If this has a better description than I do. I don't know why all these books don't have... Oh, here we go. Oh, never mind. No, that's about the author. So it's very, very similar to Sarah's Key. Except for the fact that it's a little boy. If I remember correctly, his dad works for the Nazis. If I remember correctly. And he's really trying to get out of it because he doesn't like that his dad works for the Nazis. Okay, I have so many books that I love. This is actually so difficult. Oh. God, you know you have way too many books. When? Ooh, okay. So here I have some John Green books, Fault in Our Stars, Paper Towns, and Looking for Alaska. I've read all three. Fault in Our Stars is just as sad as the movie. Paper Towns is actually a pretty amazing book. If you haven't already seen the movie, I really suggest watching it because the movie was just as great as the book was. And Looking for Alaska is amazing too if you haven't read it. I don't think they have a movie out for Looking for Alaska, but I think they should really make one because it's such an amazing book that I think it would make an amazing movie. Like, absolutely amazing movie. Okay, what else? I don't want anything to fall when I'm trying to pull books out here. I also have The Host. I don't know how well you can see it because it's kind of tucked right in here. But that is the book by Stephenie Meyer. It actually came out a long time ago now. And it's basically, if you haven't seen The Host, it's about these people who basically get an alien put inside of them. So basically what the description says is, Melanie Strider refuses to fade away. Our world has been invaded by an unseen enemy that takes over the minds of human hosts while leaving their bodies intact. But Wanderer, the invading soul who occupies Melanie's body, finds its former tenant refusing to relinquish possession of her mind. As Melanie fills Wanderer's thoughts with visions of Jared, a human who has avoided invasion and lives in hiding, Wanderer begins to yearn for a man she's never met. Soon Wanderer and Melanie, reluctant allies, set off on a search for the man they both love. So it's a really interesting story because basically the other girl is all in her head. Wow, now I'm actually struggling a lot. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're good. What else do I have up here that I can show you? Oh, I'm getting old, man. Okay. I have got the entire Divergent series, which I've read all of them. I think I even finished reading 4. It was a really interesting book. If you haven't read 4, it's basically all about the character 4 and his 4 fears. Don't mind all the clutter on my bookshelf. I kind of put that there to so that I have extra space to keep stuff. But the Divergent series is just amazing. Basically, if you haven't read it, their entire society is divided up into 5 factions, and you're born into a faction, but then when you turn, I think it's 16, you get placed in a faction based on your aptitudes. You have to take an aptitude test, and usually it points to one faction. But if it points to more than one faction that you fit into, that means you're divergent. So basically, the main character is divergent, and they're trying... She's divergent. Her name's Triss. They're trying to kill off all the divergents. So she has to try and hide really well in plain sight. So I highly recommend reading that series. Oh, okay, I gotta stand up. Okay. Also, I have the City of Bones series. I haven't finished the whole series. I think I'm on City of Lost Souls. And then I obviously have City of Heavenly Fire and the Trilogy series. It's a really great supernatural series. So if you're into the show Supernatural, or if you're into Vampire Diaries or any kind of show like that, you'd really, really enjoy that series. And now they actually have a Shadowhunters show on Netflix that is based off those books. the last 2 books that I'm going to show you. This is the first one. Oh my lord. I'm struggling today. As I already mentioned. It's called Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. And basically, on the cover, it might look like this girl's blind, but she's not. She's just very introverted. Like, extremely introverted. And she doesn't like to go out. She doesn't like to do anything until she meets this boy. Her brother's friend, actually. Who just brings her out of her shell, and she becomes more confident, and she actually wants to do things. And it's a pretty great book. I really enjoyed it. I actually finished it the day that I got it. The last book that I'm going to tell you about, again, excuse all the clutter, is a book called The Vindico. This is a book that I've read multiple times. It's basically a heroes versus villains book. It says lie, cheat, save the world. So on the back, it gives us a little synopsis into what the book's going to be about, and then on the inside, it might actually have a description. Yes, it does. Oh, sorry, I'm struggling. What if you could have any superpower in the world, but first you had to become a supervillain? So basically, to become a superhero and to have a superpower, they have to become a supervillain. So these teens are kidnapped from their everyday lives, and they're basically put into this academy where they learn how to be a supervillain. It's really interesting. I've read it a couple times. Sorry, I'm struggling, hence why the camera is going everywhere. You may think that it's a little childish, but it's really not. It's actually an extremely, extremely good book. Now, books that I want to get around to reading would obviously be Stephen King's It. Probably a Game of Thrones. Not entirely sure. I do want to read Moby Dick. I bought it. I haven't read it yet because that's a classic. I also want to read... I want to try to finish books that I haven't actually finished yet. So that would be like Stephen King Finders Keepers, or City of Lost Souls. Just a whole bunch of books that I haven't had time to finish, because I've been busy. Anyways, I really, really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gives you a little bit better insight on what books I'm into. Maybe you're into them too. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope that you guys like this video and subscribe to my page, and I'll see you next time. Bye!